Alright guys, so I'm going to quickly go over these scale shapes that I posted on those threads. First one I'm going to do are just the box shapes, and we're going to start with the diatonic box shapes. If you don't know about the diatonic scale, go to the theory board, and Andy's been working on that, so you can check that out. You'll notice in the threads that I named all these box shapes. I gave them their modal names: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, etc. And all that doesn't mean you're changing keys. If you're playing in the Phrygian shape, doesn't necessarily mean you're playing the Phrygian mode. These are the names. For me, are just a way to associate a name with a shape. So if I'm playing in the Ionian box, then I know exactly what the shape of that scale looks like in that position. So I know where I can play notes when I'm composing something or improvising or whatever. So the first thing we're going to do is just the box shapes. There's two ways to play these. You can either play them in a relative manner, meaning that, like, if we're going to play the G Ionian shape, you'd start from the G on the low E string, and you'd play that box shape that's posted in that thread. So that's the G Ionian shape. Then if you shift up to the Dorian shape, if we're playing in what's called a relative manner, meaning in the key of G major, so I play that G Ionian shape. Then I go up to the next box, which would be Dorian, and it starts from the A note, so it's just the next note in the scale, which is A. So that's playing in a relative manner. So for every box, you just shift up to the next note in the scale and play that shape. Phrygian would be starting from the B, so it's B Phrygian, or yeah, B Phrygian in the key of G major. So that's playing in what's called a relative manner. If we play them in what's called a parallel manner, it means that when you're playing them in a relative manner, it means that the root changes every time. So like we play the Ionian shape in G major starting from the G, or the Dorian shape starting from the A, the Phrygian shape starting from the B, Lydian starting from the C, mixed Lydian starting from D, minor or the Aeolian shape starting from E, and then the Locrian shape starting from F sharp. So that would be playing the scale in a relative manner, meaning every time I change shapes, box shapes, the note that I'm starting from changes too. So, but you're staying in key. So if you play it, so there you'll notice that I'm changing notes, changing box shapes, but the scale is the same. It could be A Dorian, could be B Phrygian, G Ionian, just depends on what the chords underneath are doing when you're playing them. So the second way to play them, and this is more useful to me, would be to play them in what's called a parallel manner. But you should play them both ways. But then if you play them in a parallel manner, you'll really understand, you'll get the feel for the different sounds of the modes. So to play that, what you do is you just pick a note. So let's just do ours from A. So we play the box shapes, and every time we switch box shapes, instead of shifting up in the scale and staying in key, we're going to actually switch keys, and we're going to start from the same note every time and just play a different box shape. So if you play Ionian, starting from A, we're going to do them all from A. Then you go to Dorian. Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, natural minor or Aeolian, low cream. So there, if you play them that way, starting from the same root note every time, you'll get a feel for the different sounds of the modes. So you should practice them both ways. The box shapes, practice them, you know, in staying in key or in a relative manner. So every time you play a different box shape, you just start from the next note up in the scale. So if you're in the key of G major, you start Ionian is always on the 1, so you start the Ionian on the G shape or on the G note, shift up to A, play Dorian, shift up to B. So you're just doing the playing a different box shape, but you're staying in key. You're playing the same 7 notes, just a different position on the neck is all you're doing. When you're playing in parallel, meaning you're playing all the different box shapes, but you're always starting from the same note. In the example I just did, it was on A. That means you're actually playing a different set of 7 notes every time. You're changing the set of notes. That's why it sounds different when you go through them like that. So anyways, those are the box shapes. Pretty easy. It's probably nothing new for you guys, for a lot of you guys. So, but I want that stuff on the side, so if anyone gets on there and doesn't know about that stuff, then they know now. So if you have any questions, just post in the thread. Thanks.